Good morning everyone and welcome to my Deztreks vlog. Today we're in Baler, which is in Aurora province, facing the Pacific Ocean on the east coast of the Philippines, and you can see the waves behind me here. This is known as one of the best surfing locations in all of the Philippines. So make sure you stay tuned for more. We're going to do a little bit of a tour around Baler today and we'll keep you up to date with what's going on. And then right next to Costa Pacifica, or should I say right in front of Costa Pacifica, is Baler Beach right here. The famous surfing beach, as we can see here, really consistent waves that are breaking through. So very good for surfing. Here they have surfing lessons as well. For those that are looking to learn to surf, they have beginner courses here. And then of course, just behind us here, we have the actual resort, Costa Pacifica. So if you come to Baler and you're looking for somewhere a little bit more on the luxury side to stay, right next to the beach, then this is certainly fits the bill. As we saw before, we've got a swimming pool here. Great accommodation. The food is sensational. And as we can see here, we've got the beach. So everything that you could want. And the other thing about Costa Pacifica here is that it is a pet-friendly resort. So if you want to bring your dogs, you can. But they're in the process of developing a dog grooming service. So what that means is that you can come here, you can bring your pet. And if you want to go and do some day trips, like some of the activities that we did at the waterfalls, go and check out some of the beaches or whatever, you can actually leave your pet here and your pet can go to the grooming service and get pampered, get its nails clipped, shampoo, and really looked after while you're out doing a day tour. So that's something else that they're doing here at Costa Pacifica to make it even more pet friendly than what it is now. If you've got some dogs and some pets that you want to bring up here, make sure you let them know and you can bring them up here and have a great time with the whole family. And you can also see that there's a boardwalk that goes all the way along here. You can see goes all the way along the beach down there as far as the eye can see that way, and then all the way down here as well. If you're into a bit of walking, a bit of fitness, even a bit of running or jogging, you can go right along. Morning. One of the friendly locals there going for a surf. Yeah, you got the boardwalk all the way along here as well. Here we are now at the Balete Tree, which is a famous landmark here in Baler. This is a 600-year-old Balete tree, which is considered to be the oldest tree in the Philippines. And it's actually considered one of the oldest trees in Asia as well. So you can actually see here, you can walk through the actual root system. So even though this is a very old tree and it's got a massive root system across the base, as you can actually see, it's not a very tall tree. We're going to go and check it out in a second. I'll show you what it looks like inside. Okay, so here we go through the actual tree here. There's a few little paths through here as well, but you can see it's just a massive tree roots. And there's actually a bit of room to move inside. Certainly not the biggest thrill that you've ever experienced, but you can have a look inside here. It's pretty amazing that you're actually standing inside the trunk of a tree, that you can see the root system here is massive. And that's what it's like looking straight up the trunk of the tree. Pretty amazing stuff. So the way that balete trees grow, because there's so many roots as you can see around me, this actual where I'm standing right now was the core of the original tree. As you can see now, looking up to that hole up there, this is all now been eaten out. So the original tree actually doesn't exist. The roots actually grow down from the top as they try to find soil to get water and nutrition from. That's essentially why I'm just surrounded by a mass of roots at the moment, but the actual original tree has been rotted out and doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so here we are now at Ditumabo Falls, which is one of the more popular tourist attractions. This is in San Luis in Aurora province, not too far out of Baler. We're going to be hiking up to the waterfall, which is I think up in this direction. But you can see here, here's the downstream of the waterfall. And then back up here is the river up towards the waterfall. So stay tuned and I'll keep you posted. All right, so we're going to trek up to the waterfall now. Apparently it's only about a 30-minute walk up this way. There's a bit of a paved trail for most of the ways. From what I've heard, it's not too difficult. Okay, so one of the things to be aware of here is there is an entry fee, which is only 30 pesos. It's not a lot of money, but then you're required to hire a guide for safety purposes as well. And the guide will cost you about 200 pesos. So here's a registration area just here where you pay your 30 pesos. You go on your hike, and then when you're finished, you've got to pay your guide a fee of 200. So just be aware of that. Okay, so we've got a couple of river crossings along the way. As you saw back there, we had to cross through here. It's only sort of knee-deep water, as you can see, so nothing too dramatic, but just be prepared to get a little bit wet. I'm only wearing flip-flops myself. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that. It's not all that difficult to hike here. A little bit slippery, you have to be a bit careful, but other than that, it's not too difficult. As you can see, it's a pretty standard trail, nothing too difficult about this. We've been fortunate that Typhoon Tisoy came through here about a week ago, or through the Philippines, and apparently that's increased the water volume of the river and the waterfalls. So our timing is actually quite good to be here because the water will be nice and strong, which makes for good viewing. So let's see how we go as we get there. Okay, so now we've got another water crossing here, as we can see with the ropes that I'm holding on to. As you come across here, fairly strong flowing here, as you can see in the background here, which is why we've got the ropes to hang on to. So the current here is pretty strong, as we can see, but now we've made it across to the other side. Okay, we're not at the main falls yet. We've just got a nice path along here, the last sort of part of the journey. There's a small falls just around the corner there, Shower Falls. But take a look at this here. And the power of the water coming from here, it's thunderous. I hope you can hear me okay, but the water is so loud. A lot of spray flying around. Look at the water flowing down the river here. A lot of power there in that water. So we're getting close to the mother fall, but you can feel the wind and the power coming off this. It's amazing. Okay, so we finally made it to the mother fall, 140 feet high. And listen to the sound of that water crashing down. As you can see behind me, it's deafening. There's spray going everywhere. It's about a 1.3 kilometre hike from the starting point to here. And I was just told by my guide that the water coming out of this waterfall is coming out at a rate of 2,000 gallons per minute. I'm not really into the imperial system. I'm not sure what that works out to be in litres. but 2,000 gallons a minute coming out of here. And that goes down to the waterfalls that we just saw, the ones that were tearing down just over here. So here's another section on our way back to Baler. This is called Aniao Islands. So you can see in the background here, we've got a couple of islands. So a little bit of white sand here. It's a little bit rocky, not the most beautiful looking sand, but it's still sensational. The colour of the water out here is unbelievable. Okay, so this is Dicasalarin Cove, beautiful turquoise water. Might be a little bit hard to see, but on the cove there, you can see there's a lighthouse, or a small building. That's actually a lighthouse. So we're going to be stopping here and having lunch and enjoying these sensational views that you can see behind me overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so now we're down at the beach here in Dicasalarin Cove, and you can see around here beautiful white sand, glorious palm trees in the background. Nice waves crashing in. And here, beautiful blue water. There's the lighthouse just over here that we're talking about before when we were up on the mountain, and that's where we came from, up here on the other side up there. Yeah, this is a real little hidden gem. There's not a lot of people here, which is good. It's not really built up for tourists, so it's still one of those quiet little gems that you'll find here in Baler. It's well worth coming and visiting here. Dicasalarin Cove it's called, just outside of Baler. And just a little bit back off the beach, you can see the water through here as well. We've got a couple of little kubos or huts around here as well. So if you want to get a hut and just chill out with a barbecue or a picnic, should I say, and just hang around here. Nice sea breezes coming through. Great scenery, and the colour of that water, you can see it through there. Absolutely sensational. This is well worth a visit if ever you come to Baler. And here we are at the Church of Baler. So there's a bit of historical significance with this church. We can see we've got a plaque up here. There was a lot to do with when the Spanish lost control of the Philippines as a colony, which was back in 1898. So you'll be able to read on the plaque exactly what happened. Let's go and take a look inside. Here in the background we've got Doña Aurora house. This is the house of the first president of the Philippines, who was Aniao Quezon, and this is his wife's original house here behind me. And so this here is actually a replica of Manuel Quezon's original house. It's park here, and over here you'll see behind me, this is actually where the house was originally located, but the replica's been moved to just over there where I was, the replica of the Nipper hut, and this is actually where the original location of the house was. Now here we are at Cube. This is the rooms that we've got here. We'll take a look outside tomorrow because we've just sort of checked in now. But these are modular rooms. So basically they're two 20-foot modular containers, sort of like a shipping container, but modular, about the same size as a shipping container. And this is what the rooms look like. So there's essentially two of them side by side, one being a sort of living area, and the other one being the bedroom and the bathroom, as we can see here. Okay, so here we are at Cube Resort. So this is in Baler. This is a place where we stayed last night. So this is part of the Costa Pacifica group. This is a slightly more budget version of where we stayed before. So we've come here to check it out so that we can get out to have a look at the facilities. And as you'll see, a lot of the accommodation here is prefabricated buildings. So basically you've got a living area and then a bedroom and bathroom as well. So you'll be able to check out the price ranges online, but very affordable accommodation, good food, beautiful swimming pool. Yeah, definitely worth coming to visit if you're here in Baler and you're looking for some good accommodation, but something that's a little bit more affordable for the average budget. So let's take a look inside now. And this here is the local bazaar here with all the souvenir shops and the Baler market just over here and the museum just there. So here's a terminal where if you want to do some trips around Baler, this is a terminal where you can leave from to go and visit all the places. There's a sign just here with all the information written on it for you as well. Well, here's something else that was a little bit surprising. Here we are still in Baler. I wouldn't say we're in the middle of nowhere, but we're slightly out of town. And for those that like rugby, you'll notice what's behind me here, which is a set of rugby goals. And you can probably see the other set down the end there. So yes, in Baler, we've actually got a full-size rugby pitch here. And apparently it was in November, there was a game played between Japan and the Philippines on this very field here. And this field is owned by the owners of Costa Pacifica, the resorts where I've been staying. That's something you wouldn't expect to see here in Baler, but anyway, here it is. A full-size rugby pitch right here. So here we are on the Joy bus, heading back to Manila. This is the deluxe bus. You can see here you've got footrests, a bit like business class in an aeroplane this one, so it should be an enjoyable trip back to Manila. So we'll update you when we get there. Okay, so that brings to end another epic Deztreks adventure up in Baler in Aurora province. Thanks once again to Costa Pacifica for hosting us while we were up there. It was a fantastic time. Fully recommend that you go and check it out. Make sure you say subscribe to my Deztreks channel. You can see below. Just click the little bell so you get all the notifications. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.